I'm Alan Ross. I'm the managing editor of APC Technologies, and we are here at the NETA, the International Electrical Testing Association, their 2023 Power Tech Conference, doing interviews. My guest with me is the Director of Communications for APC Media, Rachel Linke. Rachel, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, Alan. Would miss it.
We're just going to have an interesting time with all of these people, and tell me what you like best about these interviews.
The best part about these interviews, I feel like, is that it really brings about a lot of great thought leadership, and I really just love how you make everybody feel so comfortable, Alan. You really try to get people to just be comfortable and in their own skin, and then so much great information comes out of it. So
let's see if we made people in the next interview comfortable. Enjoy. Our next guest is Virginia Balitski. She is the head of training and development for Magna 4, and you're going to tell us a little bit more. But thank you so much, Virginia, for talking with us. Yes. We published something on you a year ago, I think it was, that you talked about NETA. We'll come back to what you do with NETA. Yes. But right now, tell us a little bit about your background as it relates to Magna 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I graduated from a technical school in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Hold on just a second. Thank you for doing that, because not a lot of women do that.
That's true. Yes, yeah. It was there was only a few of us in that program, but a 2-year electrical engineering technology program, and then I started with Magna 4 engineering right out of school, and started with their technical field services department.
You went out in the field.
Yes.
That's another way. I gave you another one. Women in engineering in the field.
Yes.
You get like 10 points for all of that, and you can only get 10 points. So that's excellent. Thank you.
Definitely not many of us out there in the field, but spent quite a few years doing some field work and lots of site visits, maintenance and commissioning of electrical equipment and systems throughout Alberta mostly, Northwest Territories a bit, of course travel involved.
Where there are very few people, but I guess they have power up there.
Yes, right? Absolutely. Yeah, still have systems.
I'm going to get to your role with NETA in a bit. I want to talk about your managing of training and development.
Yes.
Talk about that and how important that is, and how you go about handling, growing people who are already in the company, growing new people into the company. I guess just the whole idea of scaling people up.
Absolutely. Well, Magna 4 Engineering really saw a need as we were growing as an organization to have a more formal training program. Of course, there was always the on-the-job training, and you're learning, you're mentored as you progress through your field career. But there was really a need for a more formal program to properly develop everyone, to make sure everyone was getting the correct information, the up-to-date information. All of the information was disseminated the same way from the same folks. So I really spent a batch of time developing a program where we could start formally training and mentoring our techs as they progress through their field careers.
How important is safety in that whole process?
Absolutely. The electrical safety side of things is a critical aspect. We have to tie that into, of course, everything that we do as part of our field roles. So that's a huge part of it as well. That was all built into the programs as we move through. So kind of built a bit of a plan for how folks are going to progress and what courses they will need at certain times throughout their careers, and then just work toward building that and then implementing that throughout the organization.
As we have advances in test equipment, you've got to then figure out how to teach the old people how to work with new equipment, and everybody loves change, right?
Yes, absolutely. Change is always a struggle. So
talk a little bit about how you then implement that. You got to change the program, then you got to retrain, and etc. Talk a little bit about the advances that we're making in test equipment that are making it safer to test in some cases, but making it more complex.
Absolutely. Some of the test equipment now has a variety of complexity, and you need to be able to stay on top of all those advancements and build that into the program. Of course, any program that's built is not going to stay static and stationary. We've got to continually evolve it. Again, then there's change involved, which is
everybody loves change.
Yeah, always the struggle, but need to be able to adapt to the changes in the industry and the new test equipment and what that means.
Okay. Talk a little bit about your role here at NEDA, what you do with and for NEDA.
Yeah, so with NEDA, I'm on the board of directors now. I started my term 2 years ago. Well, 2 years in June, so coming on 2 years.
Congratulations and thank you.
Yes, so I'm working on a number of different committees, the safety committee, of course, the training committee, that all ties right into my background and my experience, and then promotions and marketing committee as well. So participating on a number of committees and then representing NEDA on the ASTM F-18 committee, so personal protective equipment.
Excellent. As I understand it, NEDA is close to getting the first apprenticeship program with the Department of Labor here in the United States. Are you involved in that at all, or are you aware how what's going on there?
Yeah. As part of the training committee, we've been working on that for a bit. There's just such a need for
it's a game changer.
Techs. There's such a need for techs in the industry, and there's only so many programs out there that we can get techs into the industry. So really working on something like that to have a program that's ready to go. And there are other options out there, and certainly throughout Canada with our electrical engineering technology program, but then having other options here in the US approved by the Department of Labor to work on an apprenticeship, and again giving them the knowledge that they need, the on-the-job training that they need to advance through their career.
And once that happens, we're going to promote the heck out of that, because I think we right now, as we speak in 2023, there are huge issues that everybody's dealing with: supply chain issues, labor issues with the and then change. As we say, there's new equipment, new requirements, new things.
Absolutely.
We're trying to make it automated, and you cannot automate the testing program. It's just not you can put things on the machine to give you information, but you're not going to completely automate an electrical system or a power system, as we call it. I want you to switch gears. I don't want you to talk about Magna 4 or NEDA. I want you to be a thought leader. And the thought leadership is really, you're going to make a commercial for STEM, for women in science, technology, engineering. And I love the program that you said in Canada, in Edmonton, was a 2-year EET, because it's EET, whereas here we do the 4 and 5 year EE program. You become a graduate engineer from a college. But that EET level is a huge need right now.
Yes, and there's massive need for that program, lots of enrollment, lots of demand for that program in Alberta, because we do have such a need for that. We of course have all the other longer programs as well, but this one, your technical school, where you get your technical information, your theory, and then head out and receive your on-the-job training after. So it's just a bit of a different structure than your apprenticeship program, where you kind of have both intermingled throughout your development.
And that is the difference. You do the education, then you go in the field versus in and out.
There's labs through those programs, because it is a technical college. So you do receive lab training where you're working with the equipment. Of course, not the same as being out there in the field with your hands on.
So you've done this for 17 years. One of our earlier guests said that electrical technicians, the techs out there, you can't own a goldfish, because the goldfish is going to die because you're gone all the time. It's hard to have a family life doing that, and maybe that's why some women don't go into it. But talk to me a little bit about that. How do you get people to come into it and stabilize their career so that they're not always on an airplane or in a truck or driving somewhere?
It is absolutely tough to continue on with field life as you're trying to develop a home life and some stability, because it is very much travel involved and long hours and many days, so you have to find that balance. And then as you advance through your career, you can find different avenues, as myself now, heavily a part of the training. I don't dust off the coveralls very often anymore and head out there. It does happen, but just not as often. So get a bit more stability. And
so you might have an 8 to 6 job, not all the time job. That kind of thing.
it's still all the time,
Okay.
but it's, you're at home while it's all the time for some of it.
But even in that, the recruitment of women particularly, recruitment of anybody is hard, but recruitment of women into it is getting harder. What can we as an industry do to help increase that recruitment?
Yeah, certainly myself, I came from a bit of a tech background as my, family and home. There was definitely some technologists there. Okay. So, I was introduced to it very, very young, and then of course through high school as well. So perhaps some high school outreach, really letting folks know about a different avenue for a career instead of what you would typically expect, and it can be very rewarding and very fulfilling.
Even though you look like you can't have been in the industry for 17 years, you've had a 17-year career.
So far.
That's excellent. That's just excellent. But anyway, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure once again to interview you face to face as opposed to just publish an interview with you. But thank you.
Thank you.